Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Lisa Seaman, and I am the Workforce Manager for the AGC Construction Education Foundation. We are celebrating the last week of Careers in Construction Month today with a virtual job site tour with Hyder Construction. As we go through the tour, please feel free to type your questions in the chat, and I'll ask them as we go. We are going to see two different projects today, so we'll have a question and answer time after the first one, and then again after the second. Please know we are recording this presentation, so if you would prefer to not be on camera during the recording, it is okay to keep your video off. Thank you for attending today, and I will now turn it over to the team with Hyder.
Hi, I'm Scott Miller with Hyder Construction. I'm the Director of Operations, and like Lisa said, we have a couple projects to showcase for you today. One is the Hooper project, which is a mixed-use apartment building, 105-unit apartment building with some retail and office space that's in 5 Points downtown. And the second one is the Breckenridge parking garage up in Breckenridge, Colorado, which is about a 750 spot parking garage along with some other amenities for the town. So we'll get through the Hooper presentation first. I've got one of our team members, Nathan Bowder from the Hooper team here, so he can help answer questions. We'll pause after the first presentation and then answer questions and then start up the second one. So enjoy. I think you're muted, Dana.
All right, I'm trying to share my screen. Just give me a minute. Okay, can everybody see the video, hopefully?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to the Hooper Job Site Tour. The Hooper is a new 9-story mixed-use building with a street-level retail space, 2 floors of office space, a fitness center, and 103 apartment units. The construction cost is $33 million, and the project is slated to complete in spring of 2021.
Hi, I'm Nate. I'm a project engineer for Hyder Construction, so I'm kind of the middleman between the superintendent and the project managers, and my job is to, help them wherever they need and get them the information they need. So let's go see the site. So right here, this is called a hydromobile. It's used as a scaffold to help erect large walls of brick or CMU, which is, what we're doing here is they're going to start the brick way up high, and that's the only way to get there safely. So a lot of our job is thinking, how do we get to places safely, and how do we make sure the workers are safe while they're doing that work? So it's a lot of give and take. You got to sacrifice time in the schedule while also thinking about safety. So Hyder's #1 priority is safety before schedule. It's our job to make sure that guys go home at night, and we reiterate that every day. So this is a really cool place to start. the next place we're gonna go is we're actually gonna go up our temporary elevator. So as you can see, that goes all the way to the roof, 10 stories up. There's no way to get up to these other floors. You know, we took our crane out. There's no way to get guys up except for stairs. And I don't know about you, but climbing 9 sets of stairs a day isn't fun, and doing it multiple times isn't even better. So we're gonna go take the elevator. We're gonna go up to 9, please. So we have a dedicated operator that operates these elevators every day. Both one for just moving guys up and down the building, and another one next to us that is just for materials. So they're both really loud, as you can see, but it's how we efficiently build the project without having to worry about, you know, safety issues, time issues, just a lot of different ways you got to make a building work. So as you can see, this elevator is connected to our building, and we can't finish the exterior while we're there. So until we do that, we can't finish the building side until this elevator goes away. So all part of the process. Once we get our permanent elevators going, then we'll be able to take this thing out and move on. Thank you. So right now we're in the middle of framing the building. We're on the 9th story right now. We ran all the way up the elevator. We're gonna go check out some of the views that you don't really get to see that often unless you're downtown. So let's go check it out. So really cool part of this job is you get to be in a lot of different places throughout your career. So going outside, we're on a nice big patio deck up on the 9th story, and you can see all of downtown Denver. You can see the Flatirons of Boulder. Just a really cool spot to work and really, you know, capture the entire city where you're working. So it's a really cool spot. Now, you're seeing a lot of the exterior skin go on. So you have our parapet walls that act as a safety railing so people can use these balconies safely. You can see our brick coming in place. You can see the sheathing and then the roofing membrane coming in. So a lot of different things come into place here. With windows, Tyvek is one of our systems. Just a whole lot of things go together, and part of my job, as well as Hyder's job, is to make sure those go together correctly, they're bought correctly, they're per what the architect designed or the engineers. So it's a lot of different things that, you know, we may just be building a building, but we're touching everything. We're involved in everything, and it's a really cool process to be part of that you're proud of. So a lot of people don't understand what's going into a wall. There's just a lot of materials that go in place before we can actually put the drywall on, the doors on, a lot of different pieces, you know, finishes, your tile, before we can go ahead and finish that room. So as you come in to see, a lot of different components go into just a small apartment unit. We got your low volt panel, so that's for your TVs, that's for your internet, your Comcast, your Xfinity, all those different systems come into this panel here. Next, you have your individual panel for your units. So this controls your electrical, it's your breakers, controls your lights, controls your appliances, all those different things. And you can see how much conduit goes into that. That's not even the finished product yet. You still get wire all through that. So this thing is still a work in progress. We can go into one of the restrooms. So this is a unit bathroom. You'll have your sink, you'll have your toilet, and you have your tub, obviously. So all your piping, it's pretty easy to see, obviously, hot and cold, blue, cold, red, hot. And you have your backing, which is for your cabinets to mount to, for your sink and your vanities. So a lot of different pieces going into place here that otherwise wouldn't be known unless you actually took apart that wall and saw it right now. So just think of it as a skeleton. You're looking at the skeleton right now. You got the nerves coming in, which are your wires and your plumbing. And then your skin and your muscles will follow after. So your insulation is your muscles. So think of it as a body and a living thing. This building is coming to life right now, which is really cool to see. So the next process for this room itself is to get its insulation and then its drywall. So we're really close to wrapping this room up and starting finishes. So building in downtown is a little harder than places like in the mountains or other locations because we don't have a lot of room to put materials. So we're lucky enough where we have a wide open floor, this is the 4th floor, where we can store a lot of our soon to be used materials. It's a jumbled job site, but this is how we keep it organized and make sure everyone's safe as well, because even though we're in the middle of construction, everyone's got to be able to move around safely and get out safely should there be an emergency. So part of our job is to keep the site clean as well as organized, so, as you can see. So we'll go check out another floor. The other cool thing about this building is it's a multi-use building. So while there's residents up on the upper floors, we'll have office space. We may have a restaurant down below. Just kind of a really cool process where we're not just building apartments, we're building a lot of different things in one building, which is really cool. So now we've made our way down to level 2. This is a parking garage entirely. So as you can see, there's a lot of big concrete work that happened before we could even get to those units, before we could get to doing any of the finishes. So a lot of this work we did in the winter last year. There's a lot of management of snow, management of weather, and understanding when you can do things, how you can do things in cold weather, because concrete does not like the cold. So a lot of blankets, you got to wrap it up at night and make sure it's good to go. So just a cool thing to see is the amount of structure that goes into such a big building at the very bottom. Just think of it as you're building a pyramid. Your big stuff is very big below, and your steel and your concrete gets a lot smaller as you go up. So from here, you get a really great view of what the building actually looks like. It's a 10-story, high-rise, multi-purpose building that we are in a little over a year on building. So it's a really cool spot, right in the middle of the downtown. You can see the train tracks right here. Another big safety thing we had to deal with is just managing your site, managing your surroundings. You know, we try and make sure we're leaving as little of a footprint for the neighbors around us as we can. As you can see, this building is mostly brick going up. We'll have a little bit of stucco, but the architecture of this building is really supposed to fit into this region of Denver. It's 5 Points. It's a historic area. A lot of brick you can see around us. A lot of the architecture is very similar, and that's what the architect's effort here was to do. There's the train. So some technology we have on site that we're starting with is a 360 camera that tells us as we walk and takes a capture. So I can click on any capture throughout this project and find a location I want to look at, the wall system that's in that location, and as this building gets further along and the more walks I do, I can peel away the layers in this software and look at exactly what's in the wall like we did here. So it's a really cool piece of technology we're implementing here on the job, And technology is one of our big aids for our system. So construction really relies on technology. We use technology. I have a field iPad I take to look at plans instead of taking a whole plan set. So it's a really cool thing to have now that we are pursuing. So.
Scott Miller with Hyder Construction. I'm the Director of Operations at Hyder, which means that I manage all the construction operations that we do. I've been with Hyder for about 23 and a half years. Started as an intern and worked my way up through the ranks over the last 20 years.
Hi, I'm Jesse Carlson, Senior Superintendent at Hyder Construction. I like the challenges every day. Show up and day goes by so fast you don't even know it's over and it's time to go home. So it's exciting that you can do a lot of cool projects like the Hooper, and some of the other projects I've done for Hyder is a lot of fun.
My name is Garrett. I am a project engineer with Hyder. I've been on this project since we broke ground last year, from demolition, excavation, to building the structure, helping with quality control, making sure that everything gets put in place per the plans and specs.
So my name's Tim Gaughan, superintendent working on the interior finishes of the Hooper. Well, I like the size of it. It's a great job. There's a ton of people that I can interact with. The team's great. And just the fact that I'm in Denver, it's an exciting atmosphere. Yeah, it just makes it a great place to work.
So
All right,
we'll open it
guys.
up to questions if anybody has any questions on our first project, the Hooper.
Yeah, that was awesome. So I logged in some questions that I would love to ask. First of all, let me say that was my favorite tour that we've done yet. There was no motion sickness on the walking portion, and I appreciate that very much. Whoever was running your camera was spot on. So I'm a little bit obsessed with the elevators. Now, that construction elevator looks a little kind of scary to me, not gonna lie. Is the person who runs that elevator, is that his job like all the time? Or is that someone from your crew that learns how to work that elevator?
So we have a couple different processes we do, but it's a full-time job. We have guys moving around the building all day, especially when deliveries show up. You gotta move people and materials into the building. It's a full-time job. So we actually have 2 elevators on site. And the second part of that is, you got to give them breaks. You got to work in lunches for them. So we do have our guys that help out and hop in as soon as they're needed. So it's kind of a team effort, but yeah, they're a bit precarious if you don't like heights, but they don't bother me much. But I got good friends in construction and they won't step foot on one. So it's really a
They're
preference.
taking
It's
the
not gonna
9
go
flights of stairs.
correct. Yeah.
At what point can you use the building elevator?
They are actually going in right now as we speak
Okay.
through Coney elevators. They're supposed to be done in a few more weeks. They are done setting the cabs. They're getting the doorways in now. So hopefully by New Year's, we are using the permanent elevators on a temp permit. So it's all about permitting and what you're allowed to do. So we have permits for everything nowadays. So that is another permit we'll have to go get and make sure Denver Fire is okay with it, and as we finish the building.
Got it. Now, when did this project start?
We officially broke around June of 2019, and we're looking to finish April of 2021.
So almost 2 years.
So 22 months, I think, was the final project schedule. We do have time worked in there for weather delays that we get to recoup with the ownership. And it's all just part of the process and the contract as to that final date based on those agreements. But yeah, we're pushing for that April finish date and sticking with our original schedule. So the sooner we finish, obviously, the sooner the better.
Nice. Now, so one of the things we've been talking to the students a lot about this year is how construction was deemed an essential business during the first portion of the COVID shutdown. Did you guys experience any delays or anything on this site because of that?
We specifically did not, but we have incurred just supply chains. We've seen the supply chain management has been kind of upended in this whole pandemic. So a lot of our things, like our light fixture supplier, went totally out of business. So we had to order new light fixtures. So the good thing is we were ahead of the game and on ordering them. So we still have plenty of time to make sure we get those ordered, and they have been. So we're able to minimize any impacts, if any at all, by being on top of our game and getting our submittals done, getting any questions answered, design, open-ended items completed so we can really get our products on site. We have had a few times where, guys will test positive for COVID. We've had very random tests. One guy had a hernia surgery and he went and got tested for COVID and ended up having COVID and had no idea. And we had another one of our guys had appendicitis and went in, got his surgery, and then got COVID somehow. So you never know where you're going to get it. We do a lot of hand washing, hand sanitizer everywhere, masks on 100%. We have a ton of hand washing stations around the job site, and just really trying to make sure everyone's abiding by those areas of safety now that are totally new to the project and to really our realm of work. So overall, nothing crazy, but it is a process, more time spent on handling just our job with COVID. So luckily,
this one's keeping everybody on their toes.
Exactly.
So was there a building in that space already that you had to demolish and get rid of, or was it just land?
So we actually had a few houses, all kind of old houses that hadn't been lived in a while. There was a Jamaican restaurant that was there for a long time, had been abandoned, and just a very kind of open-ended lot that was ready to be repurposed and bring this portion of the city back to life. So it's I think they've done a really good job of incorporating some of those family-owned businesses that used to be around here into this building. So that's the effort anyway.
That's great. Well, it's a beautiful building. Have you guys had to do all of that with light rail running on a normal schedule right outside the building?
Yes. So we have never shut down the light rail, and you never should. Their policy is you shut down the light rail or block the light rail at any point in time. You have to hire 2 of their flaggers a day, and a flagger is someone there just notifying workers, hey, train's coming, and letting the train conductor know that he can go on and go past. So we've taken down our tower crane without shutting down the light rail. We've built this whole building really without any effect of the light rail at all. And it takes a lot. It's a whole new process for me. I've never been this close to the train tracks. So it's
right there.
Definitely a learning experience to be that close to the train,
Well, that was a fantastic tour. We really appreciated you letting us onto that site. That was great. We're excited.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
The Breckenridge parking garage.
Welcome to the Breckenridge Parking Structure Job Site Tour. This 4-tier precast concrete parking structure and adjacent surface lot will provide the town of Breck and Breck Ski Area with 950 parking spaces. The structure features snow melt systems, restrooms, stair towers, elevators, and heated sidewalks. The construction cost is $38 million, and this project is slated to complete in late 2021.
Hi, I'm Lou O'Patterney. I'm the superintendent on the Breckenridge parking garage, and this is my project. All right, let's go. So we started this project 3 weeks ago, and it's a precast parking garage. The garage itself is going to be 712 parking spots, and it should take us about another, I would say, 2 months to complete the structure itself, and then probably another 2 months of concrete work. So we have heated decks on the 4th level and the 3rd level with a snow melt system to battle the snow that Breckenridge gets. And when we're done with the structure, we'll do a surface slot out here with an additional 243 parking spots. So let's take a walk. All right, so in a precast garage, we have the column, which carries the floors. And then in between the columns, we have what's called an inverted T. And this inverted T is what carries our double Ts, which carry the floor load and allows for the vehicles to drive throughout the garage. So, and then this right here would be our shear wall, which gives strength to the building, and you'll see these throughout the parking garage. We have one here, and we also have one inside this area. And then further down this column line, we have another big shear wall, and it carries all the way up through the building, and it just helps to keep the building from having any sort of movement. It locks everything in and gives it strength. Okay, so inside of the building we have, this is that inverted T I was talking about. I'm standing on it now. It's what the double T's sit on. They're welded to the inverted T's with these plates, and then the T's are all welded together and fill jointed right here at these locations all the way across. This actual T is 60 feet from end to end. These T's weigh right around 43,000 pounds. We have a crane here that weighs 500,000 pounds, so obviously it can pick up quite a bit. So soon, in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna start prepping for topping slabs. And on this particular floor, the 2nd floor, this will be a 3-inch topping slab. It's all sloped to get to so water can get to these drains in this location here. And then on the 3rd and 4th floor, the topping slabs are 4 inches thick to allow for snow melt system, which will obviously keep snow from piling up there and push it all to the drains and down and away it goes to the storm system. So when we started this project, this was a parking lot. It was just a surface lot. We dug down 17 feet in a mass excavation, literally pulled all the material out, and then slowly brought it back in and recompacted it and brought it up to the level it's at right now. This used to, back in the, 100 years ago, this was like an old sawmill for Breckenridge, and all the wood that came out of here was for all the mines and shoring up mines. And so pretty much right in this area, there was a huge pile of sawdust underground, and we dug that all out and removed it all and had that hauled away. And then we filled that hole back in with good material that we could compact and like I said, bring it back up to our elevation that we're at now. So now we have all of our concrete footers poured out here. We have all of our anchors and embeds in, and we're finishing up the last of all footers and walls, and we have stair cord number 1 going in the northeast corner, and there's going to be elevators, stairs, and restrooms there. Okay, so winter's coming and we got to keep this building warm. So for our winter conditions, we have a bunch of heaters here. These 4 are million BTU each. They're natural gas. These will actually be inside the building. We are going to temporarily frame windows in, wrap them in plastic, and close off sections of the parking structure. And with these 4 units, 2 on the floor we're working at and 2 below to heat from underneath, we'll be able to section off areas and heat them up. And then for those really cold days when we're ready to pour and we need heat instantly, we have this diesel fired heater, and this thing puts out like some crazy number of CFM and allows pretty much instant heat to be put into an area to allow us to pour concrete. And so this thing will probably save us quite a few times to be able to get our pours done. And then these 2 green machines right here are ground thaw units, and these will be used primarily on the first level where we have ground contact. We'll be able to lay our hoses out. We can cover 300 feet worth of hose and lay across a pretty good sized area to keep the ground warm for right before when we're ready to pour concrete. And it just heats the ground up, takes the moisture out, and allows us to pour concrete without worrying about it freezing and having any issues with the cold. So these are going to be our heavy hitters for the winter, and this is how we're going to get it done through the winter. So
guys, my name is Cameron Cogdell. I'm an assistant superintendent here at Hyder Construction, and I help assist the superintendent with his daily tasks, that being scheduling, safety, logistics, any of that good stuff.
All right, guys, that was another really fun tour. I am super excited about that project because my family goes to Breckenridge a lot, and I happen to know firsthand there's no parking there. So that's a very good project right now. Tell me a little bit about working on that project in terms of subcontractors. Do you have to get any? Does just Hyder do a project like that? What does that look like?
No, we're strictly a general contractor, so we don't self-perform any work. 95% of our work is subcontracted. Up here, it's a lot of local guys, and then some come from, Denver metro area, and actually one of our contractors from Colorado Springs. So.
Okay, and where do those big like precast columns that they were showing come from? Are those made here in Denver? Do you make them up there? What is that? How does that work?
There's two big precast companies in Colorado. One's in Brighton and one's in Colorado Springs. This particular product is coming out of Colorado Springs from a company called StressCon.
And you truck them up there. That's got to be
You
cool.
get maybe 1 or 2 pieces on each truck. So
Yeah,
300 or 400 truckloads of material.
that's crazy talk. All right. Does anybody else have any questions I can ask, or do you want to unmute and ask any? Did I hit all the nails on the head of what everybody was thinking?
And if anybody has any general questions about careers in construction or anything like that, I'd be happy to
Yeah.
answer that.
Yeah, and we'd love to invite you guys too to participate on our career pathway panel. Scott, I bet you have some interesting stories to share, being at Hyder for 23 years and starting as an intern.
Yeah.
Rarity in this industry to have someone have that many years at one company.
Yeah, I'm stuck here now, I suppose, but
Yeah, nice
it's a
job.
great place to work.
Well, we are super appreciative of your team for joining us today and giving us a tour of both of these fantastic sites.
Hey, you're very welcome. Thanks
a
a
lot
lot,
of
Dana,
fun.
for putting the great videos together.
Yeah, those videos were great, Dana. Good stuff. That's a good, you need to come to the construction careers pathway too, because people don't think about that when they think construction.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Like I said, we did record this tour, so we will go ahead and share it with you guys once we get it loaded up on YouTube. And we will be sharing it with students who weren't able to join us today. Just so that you know, we don't have it publicly found on YouTube. It will be a specialized link where they will have to have that link to find it. So people can't just go in and search it up.
Great.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us today. You guys enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Much. Take care.
Bye-bye.